Chapter 10. Quilleran's dinner at Chet's bar and barbecue was not a total loss. He always enjoyed the company of the WPKX meteorologist, a colorful character about town. Weatherby gave lectures to clubs, played cocktail piano at parties, and might enliven his weather forecast with a few glissandi from Russell of Spring. Quilleran himself would have given anything to be a jazz pianist, and regretted his boyhood choice of batting practice over piano practice. Fuck off, Quilleran.
It's like where you learn to stroke your mustache.
Yes, it is where he learned to stroke his damn mustache. But, fuck off. If you would have played piano, you would have played piano. Oh, it's because I didn't learn how to play piano. Oh, fuck off.
Well, he just didn't learn how to stroke the right keys. He stroked hair. Duh.
Those who can't music become journalists. Who but Weatherby Good would have a corvidologist for a cousin? That was another plus added to the evening. The prospect of writing a scenario for an animated film about crows. Equally rewarding was Quilleran's introduction to Duff Campbell's shaft houses, which he had previously considered local landmarks to be sold to vacationers as souvenirs, like the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse and Eiffel Tower. In one watercolor painted on a hazy day, one could virtually feel the humidity. In a bleak winter scene, the shaft house rose from monstrous snowdrifts, its many angled rooftops blanketed with a foot of snow, the picture of cold and loneliness. Quilleran looked up the artists in the telephone directory. There was a whole page of Campbells, and found a Duffield Campbell on Purple Point. The man who answered, after several rings, was indeed the Shaft House King, and he seemed surprised and pleased to be called. He suggested the next morning for an appointment. Purple Point was a peninsula extending 2 miles into the lake. In the Bloom years, it had been a shipbuilding center, but that was a century ago. The economic collapse and decades of high winds and surf had changed it completely. Now it was a ribbon of sandy beach and vacation homes on the west shore, while the east shore was a strip of rocks. Duff Campbell lived alone on the rocky beach, in a small weathered building that resembled a boathouse more than a dwelling. The man who came out to meet Quilleran looked more like an aged fisherman than an artist. Although probably not more than 60, he was thin to the point of frailty, and slightly stooped from bending over his drawing board.
Ageist.
Everyone is so goddamn ageist in this book. Just fucking everyone. Everyone's like, you're old, you're gross, you're thin, you're weird, fuck you. There's only big, bushy, mustached men and thin bitches. It was a pleasantly warm day, but he wore 2 sweaters and a stocking cap on his long gray hair. Okay, yes,
He's
we're
old,
cold.
thin, and
We're
weird.
old and cold. Fuck the fuck off.
Old and cold.
Don't give a
old
shit.
Old and cold.
I'll bet you see some extravagant sunrises, Quilleran said. No two alike, he replied with pleasure. You have a picturesque cottage, I must say. A derelict rescued from the waves, the artist explained. Moved it to higher ground and fixed it up. Did it all myself. I was a lot younger then. Come around front and sit on the porch, and I'll see if I can scare up a cup of coffee. The porch was a concrete slab overlooking the water, with 2 flimsy folding chairs woven with plastic webbing.
Sweaty.
Does that make you just old, cheap, an artist, or all 3?
I'm sweaty.
Quilleran lowered himself warily into one of them, which squeaked and shuddered as it adjusted to his height and weight.
Oh, I forgot because he's a giant.
Yeah, he's a damn giant. And he's so fucking cool. When the host returned, carefully carrying 2 plastic mugs filled to the brim, he sat them on an upended crate between the chairs. Oh, of course, he's got a crate, too. Surely you don't stay here in the winter, Mr. Campbell. Call me Duff, he said. No, I used to have a room in town during bad weather. Now that I'm retired, I stay with relatives in Florida and teach at a university there. Quilleran gave him a searching look as he set up his tape recorder on the crate. How long have you been painting? Can't remember when I started. When I was a kid, they didn't teach art in the school here.
Hell yeah.
But I started drawing with a pencil. We lived near the old Glory Shaft House in those days. It was a mysterious sight with its towering height, old boards, and quirky shape. Must have sketched it 1,000 times from different angles. Then I discovered some brushes and paints in a Sears Roebuck catalog and asked my parents if I could have them. They let me send for them. I'll never forget the thrill when the box arrived. Father was a preacher and said the Lord worked in mysterious ways. Mother was proud of me and let me send away for a correspondence course in art. I learned a few things from it, made mistakes, read all the art books in the library, and painted every weekend for the next 50 years. Did you have a job during the week? Sure did. 40 years at Pickaxe, Feed and Seed. Retired when my paintings started selling. A gallery in Lockmaster takes most of them. I must tell you, Duff, that your work has opened my eyes. You see, things in those old wrecks that I didn't know were there. Thank you for the experience. The artist smiled for the first time and nodded modestly. Well, I've spent a lot of time looking at shaft houses in thunderstorms, snow, sleet, scorching sun, dirty tornado weather, fog, sunrise, sunset, clear sky, cloudy sky. I assume you paint on location. Sure do. One thing to avoid, though, is wind. Blows stuff into the paint. Why watercolors instead of oils? Quilleran found himself speaking in Duff's telegraphic style. Fast, spontaneous, no fussin'. Sometimes people watch me, and they say, hey, hardly anything to it. He didn't even cover the whole paper. You can't help laughing at the dumb things they say. Quilleran said, I'd like to see you work. I promise not to make any dumb remarks. Let's go. Take my van, Duff said. They drove to Smith's Folly, the mine site closest to Purple Point, and Duff set up his gear, including a golf umbrella with a long handle to stick in the ground. Prefer painting in the shade, he explained. Eliminates glare on the white paper. Paint doesn't dry too fast. For a taboret, he used the bottom of the wooden crate that had transported a jar of brushes, a supply of water, tubes of paint, and a white china palette. He himself sat on a low folding stool. In front of him, at a lower level, was a painting board with rough white paper clipped in place. When he began to paint, after making a rough pencil sketch, his arm and shoulder and wrist moved swiftly with ease and grace, brushing the paper with water and then flowing the color over it. Have to make fast decisions before it dries, he noted tersely. Have to know when to stop, too. Quilleran saw orange, purple, and blue disappearing into the boards of the building that took form on the paper. He saw a dribble of water turning the painted surface into a row of weeds. How do you describe your style? He asked as they drove back to the rocky beach. Descriptive, but not realistic. Makes viewers use a little imagination. That's good for 'em. Imagination's a muscle. Needs exercise. At Duff's cottage, Quilleran was invited indoors to see paintings tacked to the walls awaiting frames. One scene, under a blue sky with puffy white clouds, had a deer grazing at the base of the architectural relic. Another, under a gloomy sky, showed a ghostly tower behind a high fence with a red danger sign, a hawk wheeled overhead. Different people like different mood images, Duff said. Well, I don't mind telling you, I'm vastly impressed. The column will run Tuesday, and it'll be a privilege and a pleasure to write. I hope we meet again. They walked together toward Quilleran's van. You may be interested to know what brought me here for an interview. Last night I saw the collection of 10 shaft houses at Chet's barbecue. The artist's face flushed alarmingly. Didn't get 'em from me, he exploded. Must have bought 'em in Lockmaster. Wouldn't sell one to that snake for $1 million. Quilleran was momentarily speechless, before recovering enough to ask innocently, Do you have something against Mr. Ramsbottom? Only that he ruined my family. What do you mean? He ruined my family. That's all I'll say. It was an awkward way to end an enjoyable visit. Quilleran slid behind the wheel, mumbling something, and Duff Campbell turned away and trudged back to his meager cottage on the rocks. Pause and take a drink. There's a paw on the page, so drink up, babe.
Oh.
The violent outburst from the gentle-mannered artist prompted Quilleran to question Derek's job offer that so concerned his girlfriend, especially since the bartender thought he was being promoted to manager. The county commissioner's name often came up in the coffee houses. There were rumors that he bought votes and accepted kickbacks, as well as hints of a suppressed scandal. No details were ever disclosed. The locals kept their secrets from outsiders, as a measure of loyalty to their hometown, and Quilleran was still an outsider from down below.
I'm sorry.
It makes you laugh every time I say it. Now he headed for Mooseville and Elizabeth Hart's boutique. The resort town was little more than a 2-lane highway between the lake and a high sand dune. On the lakeside were the municipal docks, private marinas, and the Northern Lights Hotel. At the foot of the dune were the Shipwreck Tavern and other commercial buildings built of logs or concrete cast and painted to resemble logs. Well, that's just some fucking trashy tourist garbage.
Sorry, everyone.
Make it of logs or make it of concrete. Don't make concrete looking logs.
Oh my god. It's called Northern Lights. Just call it.
That's true. One of them was the Nasty Pasty, a cafe that served a superior version of the regional specialty. Not too large, not too rich, with not too thick a crust, and no turnips. The controversy about pasty ingredients was forever ongoing, and Quilleran expected some local politician, probably Chet Ramsbottom, to promote an ordinance prohibiting suet and making turnips mandatory. His pasty platform would no doubt get him elected to state legislator, then governor. The Nasty Pasty was a light, cheerful cafe decorated with fishing nets, boat lines, and plastic seagulls perched on an old piling. Hi, Mr. Q. Haven't seen you for a while, said the waitress. Gonna have a pasty? Assured that he was, she asked, What would you like, Dijon mustard or horseradish? What? Did I hear you correctly? He replied in consternation. That's what some of the tourists asked for, he said. I like pasties to taste like pasties, hot dogs to taste like hot dogs, and lamb chops to taste like lamb chops. I'm a purist. If you put mustard and horseradish and ketchup and chopped onions and pickle relish on everything, it all tastes alike. No thanks.
Racist.
Motherfucker! I put my damn relish or whatever the fuck I please, motherfucker!
My They couldn't scream.
She served him a pasty, neat, and said, "Everybody's sorry about the old lady. I would have liked to go to the funeral. It was on TV. Those old dogs broke my heart." Customers at nearby tables joined in. That woman was a saint. Why is it that abandoned animals always know what houses to go to? Something should be done about homeless dogs. All we have is a part-time dog catcher, and then what does he do with the dogs he picks up? "You should write letters to the paper," Quilleran said. "Lots of letters. That's what it takes to get to the politicians." That's what it takes to get the politicians' attention. The owner of the cafe came to his table with the coffee server. "Now or later, Mr. Q, what brings you to town?" "Just looking around. What do you think of the new boutique?" "It's different. Bit citified for Mooseville, but God knows we don't need any more t-shirt shops. Elizabeth's nice, very enthusiastic. She came to a C meeting and spoke right up. Got herself on the beautification committee." Quilleran had first met her on Breakfast Island, where she was unhappy and unfocused after the death of her father. In moving to Moose County, she had found her niche, and it was a pleasure to see her live up to her potential. Her boutique, though invitingly rustic, was not truly in tune with the campers, boaters, and fishermen who vacationed in the area. It was Saturday afternoon, however, and several of them were browsing in the shop when Quilleran entered. There were no souvenir mugs, plastic seagulls, or raunchy bumper stickers, but there was a rainy day corner with paperback books, indoor games, toys, and jigsaw puzzles. Otherwise, the stock represented Elizabeth's own taste, a case of antique jewelry and other curios, exotic hats, vests, caftans, and tunics from other continents, and a table of tarot cards, horoscopes, booklets on numerology and handwriting analysis, rune stones, and aromatherapy oils. Elizabeth was talking with animation to a trio of bemused hikers when she spotted Quilleran. She excused herself and beckoned him to the rear of the shop. In a desperate whisper, she said, "It's too late, Quill. He's taken the job." "Sorry to hear that," he said, "but bear in mind that he's intelligent and 6'8", and will be able to handy any situation that arises." Like, is it just a requirement for every fucking human being to be like, this is how tall this human being stands, just so we're aware?
Everyone, there is a height requirement. Okay,
I would love to hear that exact response when someone's like, "My husband's getting shipped off to the war." Well, he's 6'8". I'm sure he'll be a fine target for the Viet Japs. "That's not what I worry about. He'll come home with his clothing reeking of cigarette smoke and stale beer." "Well, fuck you, bitch. Some people like that smell." "Does anybody know why the previous manager left?" "His wife got a job down below, closer to her parents, who were elderly." "I see." "Another thing that bothers me, Quill, the bartender had been promised the manager's job, and Derek expects some hostility in that quarter." "I see," she said with a sigh. "It's such a disappointment. I have some capital to invest, and I've dreamed of backing Derek in an upscale dining club as soon as he finishes school, but now he'll have to cut back on classes. And for what good reason? A barbecue is no background for running a fine restaurant." I don't even know what level of offense to take that a barbecue is no background for running a fucking fine restaurant. I just don't get the logic. Like, 90% of dishes are meat-based, but small. what is wrong with a meat base that's big? It's just all barbecue is. It's just well done meat. Or like medium rare, medium well meat. Whatever. Quilleran was genuinely sympathetic and searched for some comforting words. I applaud your ambition, Elizabeth. Don't give up. This detour could be shorter than you think. Sometimes a setback can lead to an unexpected leap ahead. Remember, if you hadn't been bitten by that snake at Breakfast Island, you wouldn't even be here today. You're good for Derek, and everything will work out well. I'm convinced. Think positive thoughts. He said to himself, Here I go again with platitudes, paying kindly uncle to distressed youth. It was a role he avoided, yet his willingness to listen and the concerned look in his brooding eyes inevitably involved him. To cheer her up, he said, You have some unusually interesting things in your shop. How's business? Well, weekends I draw mostly the browsers, but that's all right. Traffic is important. My best customers come during the week. Chicagoans vacation in at the Grand Island Club. They come over here in their yachts, have a drink at the Shipwreck Tavern, and lunch at the Nasty Pasty. They think it's all so quaint. Then they come in here and tell me about it and spend some money. I've sold quite a few pieces of jewelry that belonged to my paternal grandmother and great-grandmother. And I had 2 sterling silver cigarette cases that I sold to a collector of old silver. The checker set is unusual. The board is inlaid ebony antique, and the red men are cinnabar, and the black men are jet. It's a conversation piece, even if you don't play.
Oh my god.
Does Coco play checkers? I remember he played dominoes on the island. And he played a mean game of Scrabble down below. Let me think. I'm getting an idea. I have an 18th century English tavern table that's just standing around with nothing on it. It's important enough to demand something of equal status on its surface. At least, that's what my designer says. I'll take it. I'm happy to see it going to you, Quill. I just wanted to have a good home. It belonged to one of my ancestors, a railroad magnate who saved it from the Great Chicago Fire in 1871. Elizabeth, I don't question your veracity, Quilleran said, but you sound exactly like a hardcore antique dealer. It's true, and it comes in its own leather case. I'll put it together for you. Can't even help it. Just sounds like an antique dealer.
That was fucking funny.
When the transaction was completed and Quilleran was leaving the shop, he said, Seriously, Elizabeth, if Derek is going to sidetrack his career to work for Mr. Ramsbottom, I think he should have some sort of agreement in writing. Who's your attorney? He's in Chicago. Do you know him well enough to phone him and ask for some informal advice? He smoothed his mustache as he spoke. There we go. I've been waiting for it.
Yeah.
Been waiting for the smoothing, the pumping, the pressing, the plimping, the pumping.
I think you forgot the most important, the stroking.
And don't forget the pounding.
You're not even done with that chapter yet, are you?
He's my godfather. Then do it. He snatched a yo-yo from the toy display. Take this to the kiddies. She, because I can read. I can, I swear. She snatched a yo-yo from the toy display. Take this to the kiddies with my compliments. Pause and take a break. There's a part on the page, so drink up, babe. On the way home, Quilleran wondered about the viper, or was it a serpent, who had ruined Duff Campbell's family and was now about to be Derek's employer. How this ruin had been accomplished with a tantalizing question and unanswered questions bothered Quilleran more than hunger, thirst, or deer flies. Any inquiry had to be handled with circumspection. In no way did he want to be associated with such a nosy search. He was too prominent a figure in the community, and anything he did or said was bandied about with glee. Bandied.
Oh my god. Your mustache is so fucking amazing. This is chapter 11.
Amanda Goodwinter might know the answer. Good winter.
That's a lot.
She was a politician herself, and a foe of Chester Ramsbottom for some unexplained reason. She was city. He was county. Or Fran Brody, the police chief's daughter, could be approached in strict confidence, but she was still on vacation. Or Brody himself might talk, if invited over for a nightcap. Or Polly could sound out her assistant, who was an encyclopedia of local secrets. Or Lisa Compton would definitely know. Her maiden name was Campbell, but would she talk? Celia Robinson could get her to talk. They both worked at the senior care facility, Celia as a volunteer, and they were good friends. Furthermore, Celia liked undercover assignments. Celia was the solution. Arriving at the barn, Quilleran found Yum Yum rifling wastebaskets and Coco watching crows through the foyer window. "Treat," he announced, and the two responded at once, racing to the kitchen and colliding broadside. After they had crunched their kibibbles, he produced Elizabeth's yo-yo and bounced it up and down for their amusement, saying, "A friend of yours sent this to you. Jump for it." They followed the rise and fall of his hand with dreamy inattention, sitting side by side on their blank briskets. They were only mildly curious about this latest eccentricity of the person who provided their bed and board. "Come on, let's play. Jump. Oompa, oompa." They looked at each other as if questioning his sanity. "Cats," he muttered and threw the yo-yo into the wastebasket. God, what a fucking wasteful little shit.
Weirdo.
Cats
God.
play with things at different times, motherfucker. Don't just throw it the fuck away.
Oh, I'm done with you. You fucking cunt.
It was Saturday. Polly would have had her first session with the portrait artist, wearing her blue silk dress, sitting in a high-back Windsor in front of leather-bound books inherited from the family of her late husband, and holding a volume of Hamlet. Even before the picture was painted, Quilleran could see it in his mind's eye, and he was eager to hear the details of its making.
No, I'm eager to throw up all over it.
Literally, good God. That is so aggravating, disgusting.
You hit the
everything
3 marks.
trashy.
We're not even done with this chapter. Fantastic.
I know, we have to make it through at least 2.
I know.
Meanwhile, a phone call from Celia Robinson demanded his attention. "Are you there?" she asked. "No, I'm only a reasonable facsimile of the person you called." Her shrill laughter made him move the receiver away from his ear. "I have some things for you, Chief, 'kay? If I bring him down there right now?" "Please do, and I hope you can stay for a glass of fruit juice." "I hope you're kidding, you little shit." The Siamese knew she was driving through the evergreen woods long before the little red car appeared. Quilleran went out to meet her. "Look in the back seat," she said. "It's my brother-in-law's picture. And I've got some things for your freezer. Are you going to show me the picture, or is it something you think I shouldn't see? She added slyly. It's strictly adult art, but I think you're old enough to view it without damage to your morals, he said, bracing himself for another shriek of laughter. Then, while Celia put the chili cartons in the freezer and the potato salad in the refrigerator, he removed the staples from the crated art and presented the whiteness of white. Join the legion of cat-who readers and just accept that cats are sometimes smarter than the people that they own, 'cause they are the rulers in your home. Gonna take the fur and move around. Got the fancy feast on the fucking ground. Don't know what to do, you filthy fucking fool. You'll take them down till they scream on the ground. And it's wow, wow, better get what you want, 'cause it's wow, wow, you fucking thought I better. Wow, wow, I'll scratch up your face unless you give me fancy feast around, babe. Gonna...
You're not even done with this chapter, are you?
Oh.
It's so horrible.
What is it? She asked after a moment's hesitation. A snowflake, but it may have some erotic symbolism. You're kidding me, Chief. Why is it... How is it... It's an intaglio. The design is pressed into the paper. Don't ask me how. I merely bought a raffle ticket and won. Where are you going to hang it? Good question, he said as he poured cranberry juice into stemmed wine glasses. Fuck your goddamn face! B, if I'm not, and I am that much of a fucking loser that I'm gonna feed them cranberry juice, I'm not gonna do it in a wine cup. Also, how does that not make you white trash?
No. It's that... Why are you talking about stemmed wine cups? Stop it.
He's gotta swirl around his cranberry cocktail.
It's a fucking chapter.
It's only 2% juice. They took their drinks into the lounge area, and Celia rummaged into her oversized handbag until she found a business card. How do you like this, Chief? It read, Robin Odell Catering, Luncheons, Receptions. Well, congratulations, he said. That's a pleasant sounding name. Sorta Sherwoodian. If you say so, she laughed. Does it mean Mr. Odell is involved? She nodded happily. We're gonna be partners. His house has a big kitchen. Slim Grim drinking game. It finally came up. 129 pages in. We always drink for a partner, and partners drink to your heart's content. They finally said it.
I think I could love her. But it'll take me 6 months. Wait, stop.
There's only a little bit left.
I don't give a shit.
Oh my god, you asshole.
I know.
Quilloran had suspected the two retirees were headed for some kind of partnership. They were well matched. I hope this won't interfere with the undercover work you do for me. Oh, no, never. Is there anything I can do for you right now, Chief? Yeah, there is. Get out your notebook. He waited while she dug into her handbag and finally found a pad and pencil. There is a tract of land between Trevelyan Road and the river, bounded on the north by Cemetery Road and on the south by Baseline. I don't want it known that I'm interested, but you might go to the county building and find out who owns it. If the owner is Northern Land Improvement, it's supposed to be registered as an assumed name, in which case, get the names of the principals. He stroked his mustache. Drinky, drinky, drinky! He'd be willing to wager they were Exbridge, Young, and Zoller. That should be easy, Celia said. And if you'd like an assignment that's challenging, try to get Lisa Compton to tell you about a Campbell scandal that happened a few years back. Commissioner Ramsbottom was involved. End of chapter, finally. It seemed like it was so long. I don't know. I'm just really drunk, I guess. Fuck me. God damn it. Because we listened to the crazy Zoom because we're the poor little bitch in the PBS room.
Bitches, I hope you know. It's really...
Look at me when I suck your toes. My Batman fetish, bro, is so deep that you don't know what to do.
Bitches, I hope you know how to explain the Batman home. Because I don't know. Please come over here, let's bone.
Good enough.
Dude, if I could fucking figure out a Batman fetish, I'd be a millionaire. Just like Bruce Wayne. Dude, I hate this so much.
I hate you.
I hate you!
I hate you!
I'm not gonna Coco on this. I'm not gonna Tom Kenny on this bitch. I'm gonna Tom Kenny on this Lynch. Not gonna Tom Kenny on you, Nuggets. And please check me, you fuck it. Please. Please. You said you went in dying.
Check me, or you'll just wreck me, and you won't get your satisfaction. I need to be there with the nugget flair. Better take rare. I'm gonna come at you, El Diablo.
Take me, or you will take me, or you won't get my
We got the El Diablo coming at you too. Don't know what to do with your fool. You got the
Succeed and you are on the foot. I'm the pain that got down. On the game and you come down. I'm the El Diablo. I come at you with the fuck now. It's a cartel and it's Devil's cartel and it's
I am
gonna be
the
with you,
virgin.
cunt.
Oh,
I can't take
Clandor
you,
it.
Look at my gun, look at my mask when I come at you with the fucking lens. Got the boom boom here in your boom boom room. Got the boom boom poo. I'm the army of two.
Senora, senora, Topo Chico game. Senora, senora, hard seltzer they fame. Senora, senora, I don't know to say. Senora, senora, and alcohol fame. And I do not want seltzer, no, I don't want weak. I don't want my water to smell like the feet. I don't want a seltzer, I only want beer. Oh, senora, senora, do me your here.
Por favor, a fever, I am a courier. Sorry. Oh, God, we're recording.
Just for that part.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh, I really hate this so much.
Only 11 and a half pages.
11 and a half pages sounds like...
A whole long journey. Way too long. Too many words, too many thoughts. Oh, and they're trying to hurt me.
Oh, God, is he mustaching again?
No, you'll find out in a minute.
Oh, I don't like finding out.
It was Saturday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Shut the fuck up!
Por favor.
It was Saturday evening. The Siamese had dined royally on red salmon and had groomed themselves fastidiously when Quilleran brought the checker set in from his van and set it up on the antique tavern table. Like hawks, the cats watched from an aerial vantage. She on the fireplace cube, he on the Pennsylvania German Sprank. As soon as the 12 red checkers and 12 black checkers were arranged on the squares, Coco came sailing down from the tall cupboard and landed on the checkerboard, sending the discs flying in all directions. Yum Yum came down too, and hid one under a rug. "Cats," Quilleran spluttered. He gathered up the set and put it in a safe place before dressing for dinner. "Pause and take a break. There's a paw on the page, so drink up, babe."
Are you trying to...
God, I feel sick.
You
fine.
should.
It's fine. It's a little bit more. It's fine. It's only 11 pages. It's fine. Polly lived in the rustic riverside development called Indian Village, as did many of their friends. Quilleran himself owned a condominium for winter use when the barn was impractical. Fuck off with your goddamn rich boy flexes. From there, it was a short drive to Tipsy's Tavern, where the menu was limited, but the quality superb. As soon as they were on the road, Polly said, "I'm afraid I have to report growing unrest at the library." "Because of the electronic cataloging? I'm not surprised. We offered a series of workshops to acquaint subscribers with its use, and only 2 persons signed up. And they were young, I might add. Now 3 of our volunteers have resigned because they feel uncomfortable with the new system. And you know how much we depend on volunteers. Most of them are of retirement age, and they seem to like the status quo." Quilleran said, "If it's a matter of being short-handed, why not hire some teens for the summer? By the time they go back to school, everyone will be getting adjusted to automation. Get the board to budget a few extra dollars for a summer youth program." Tipsy's Tavern was busy, but not noisy. A happy rumble of voices set the tone. Quilleran and Polly sat in the main dining room under the oil portrait of Tipsy, the founder's black and white cat. The furnishings and table settings were counterfeited. The wait persons were older women who mixed neighborliness with roadhouse efficiency. "Steak or fish? How do you want it done? Anything from the bar?" Quilleran said to Polly, "Did you have your first sittin' today? I ran into Paul Scumble at the Art Center this week, and he said you'll be a joy to paint. He said one's features express one's thoughts, and you have a lively mind." "Ah! You have a lively mind when you sit in front of my wine. How I look at you with a watercolor set, and then I'm stuck in the mood, and I think it's from you. Maybe it's the light that the moon's casting on you, or maybe it's just your tits that make me hard, dude, and I..."
Oh my god, stop!
Sorry.
Oh my god.
How nice of him to say that. He's a kind man. Speaking of portraits, did you read about Ramsbottom in the News Bite column? Sandwiched between brief items about a runaway cow and a jackknife truck, it had read, "A portrait of Chester Ramsbottom honoring his 25 years of public service was unveiled yesterday at a dedication ceremony at Chet's Bar and Barbecue. City and county officials attended. The portrait was painted by Paul Scumble. Polly said, I knew that man would find a way to charge his portrait to the taxpayers. I wonder if Paul was paid with the Moose County check. I'll ask him. He'll tell me. I'll be very sweet to him. Not too sweet, please, Quilleran warned. Jealous little prick. I've discovered that he likes a sip of brandy while he's working. How did you discover? Well, actually, never mind. Not how did you discover that. I'm making that sound way too out of fucking place. Every artist drinks while they fucking art. So just, yeah, whatever. That's normal. That's actually the most normal thing here in the entire book so far. The salad was served. Torn iceberg lettuce with French dressing. That's it?
What? That's
the whole salad? That's not a salad. That's water. And she said, one has to admit that this wonderful restaurant serves a sad salad. Well, thank God, Polly, you got some taste. I always fork through mine, hoping to find half a cherry tomato or a slice of radish.
Okay, wait.
I hate her ass. Your complaint is falling on deaf ears,
yes,
said Quilleran,
yes,
who avoided salads of any kind.
Oh, because his mustache.
Remember, he's a man, and
I
only
know,
women eat salads.
Bitch! Let me tell you about this. I got a big old bowl, and it's filled with protein. Got the big old beans and the pork from my queen. She made it filled up with the fat bitch. And I took some salad to your motherfucker, and I was like, I'll take a chunk of beef, and I said, fill it up with that stuff. Got the poke and the panko, babe. It's all fry on the salad top. Got that incel honey mustard boot, and I don't care what you think of me. Take a hard-boiled egg, 'cause I'm fancy, you see. I'll take my salad real fine, take it with the pork and with the wine. Gonna eat it real fucking fine, then look at me, I'm the Denny's king.
Men can eat salads, says I.
Oh no, the coins fall.
Tell me about your date with Scumble. It was hardly a date, dear, she said, reproving him with an arched eyebrow. It was a business appointment, resulting from your insistence on having my portrait painted. He shrugged an apology. Okay, I retract that. Tell me about your business appointment. Well, today he did the underpainting. I didn't see it afterward. He turned the easel to the wall. Weren't you tempted to peek? Paul's advice is, no peek, no critique, until it's finished, and I concur. What do you talk about during the sitting? Sorry, no, we all have to drink for no peek, no critique.
No, that's true.
If there's no whelp, then there's no yelp. You better help to give me your 5 stars.
There's no real conversation. He concentrates on his painting, and I sit there reciting Hamlet to myself. What the absolute fuck, though? Like, just imagine you're just sitting there, and the artist is like, please, bitch, just shut the fuck up. And you're just like, oh, Hamlet, whatever it was that was written in Hamlet, for like an hour. What, you bitch?
I'm just trying to do shit.
Shut the fuck up! Quilleran chuckled. I can imagine his confusion as your expression changes from the melancholy Prince of Denmark to the passionate Gertrude to pompous Polonius to gentle Ophelia. I suppose he'll be back tomorrow afternoon. He promised to show up at 1 o'clock, but he's not very punctual. And I don't know whether I should tell you this, Quill, but he asked if I could stay overnight in the guest room to avoid the long commute. I told him, as politely as I could, that it wasn't available on weekends. My pussy ain't available on the weekends. Do not ask me. I haven't done an overnight in 3 months. My cooch is real dirty. Why? What?
You are a fucking slut.
No, I'm not. Lilian Jackson Braun here
He's so slut.
accidentally wrote it can't come out on the week. I didn't read it like that. She said that.
She wrote.
She wrote
it.
it
You
wasn't
floated.
available on weekends.
It
She wrote
wasn't
that
available
it
weekends.
it wasn't available. It.
God. Jill, you have to not don't tell the bride, please.
Quilleran
Right.
patted his mustache.
Ah! Wait, are you serious?
Yes!
That's long.
I don't add paddeds. There's enough.
Okay, can you please describe what is happening to your partner right now? He is on the ground.
Now, what we see here is the generic domesticated Mo, the Kilbrasa, if you will, seated in the laid-down position, encased in its skinny sack, with its legs flipping in an odd-like form, with a mug above its chest, laughing and shaking hysterically, as its drunken state, brought about by the poison created from vine potato, also known as vodka, has flown inside its veins, bringing its blood just a little bit slower inside its form, to the point where its brain isn't sure what it's doing. It is quite fascinating, isn't it, here on the BBC? Now back to you, Tom, as we talk about the state of whoever that Boris somewhat is and what he's doing upside his ass.
Continue.
Quilleran patted his mustache. That was nervy, if you ask me. If he makes any more passes, let me know, and we'll get someone else to paint over his underpainting. Nazi! He's a Nazi man! He gonna take his mustache and paint all over
Cover your
underpainting.
mustaches! Cover your mustaches!
The entrees were served, and they were silent for a while.
What? Wait, did they start screaming at some point?
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Okay.
Dude, I can't do that.
This does not sound like... I'm just saying, you're drunk. I'm drunk.
Yeah, cool.
The entrees were served, comma, and they were silent for a while.
Yeah, that sounds like they started screaming.
Obviously, what they're saying is that they stopped talking and ate some food. Because, for one,
Oh, right.
Lilian Jackson Braun... Every time a character in this book has eaten food,
They're like,
she has had to mention that they stopped talking because their robot forms went into eat mode.
Yeah.
Every time they've eaten, she's like, they were quiet for a while. They put food into their mouths. Is not necessary. You could have just been like,
They ate.
yeah. Food came. A few moments later, a few minutes later, while deep in thought, enjoying the nice, succulent beef, anything. You could say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But no, she's insane. And two, that sounds so drunk. Just, they were quiet a while. The entrees were served, and they were silent for a while. Polly asked for another wedge of of lemon.
What? What the fuck, you drunk whore?
Excuse me, sir.
Can I have some lemon?
Can I have like another wedge of lemon?
I'm
But,
just
like-
a white woman.
But I don't want like a 1/4 inch of thickness. I
Just
want like
wet.
an 1/8 of an inch of thickness because I'm like
Because I go in cubic fucking inches. She goes in cubic inches too, dude. Look, that's another bitch. Cubic inches. You get it. White woman. Someone noticed.
lemon.
Yay!
Quilleran asked for horseradish and then said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be a fucking asshole all the time, but the amount of times that Lilian Jackson Braun has to intentionally say, and then Quilleran said, and then he said, and then she said, makes me want to invert. I'm sick of it.
Now into
Do you know
your
how,
mustache
like, has
or
anyone
into
ever
your-
read their stories out loud? Ever?
No, but where do you want to invert into? Is it into your mouth or into your belly button? Or into your
I'm thinking
Quilleran?
central.
Yeah,
just
I'm
middle.
saying, what is a Quilleran? A Quilleran is a Quilleran. So, yeah, so I'm saying, is that like this section?
Yeah, it's the middle section.
Yeah, so that's all I'm asking. See, it makes me want to invert there too.
It's like the cop in that one guy's animation with the fucking potato chips.
Yeah.
Except it's like...
That's good!
It's like...
That one guy. God, we are trash. Trash. Hang out with me for 13 years.
Oh,
Hang out with me for 13 years!
Sorry, whoa.
Woke?
It doesn't matter, I can't even say.
Oh god, you are such a fucking trash panda. P-A-N-D-A-S.
B-A-N-D-A-S, I got the pandas, B-N-D-S, that is what they said, oh, B-N-D-S, that's what my mom said, B-N-D-S, that's what the doctor said, B-N-D-S, I got that,
Boom. Quilleran.
Quilleran asked for horseradish and then said, last night I took my life in my hands and went to Chet's barbecue with Weatherby. Derek has accepted a job as manager, and I wanted to check it out. She was aghast. I can't believe it. Derek has more class than that.
What?
I know, because this thing is racist
I know.
against barbecue joints.
I know. Right.
Here's my thing.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh no. There's blood on my hands.
Fuck Texas barbecue. Korean, dry, Louisiana honey mustards, hot mustards. Not the sweet stuff. I don't mind that shit we have in the fridge. I like it. But, like, Texas is the sweet craze. Fuck the sweet craze.
Close you.
And fuck
See,
smoke. Fuck smoke,
close to
fuck
me.
sweet. Just good
Stand.
cooking.
There's blood on my hands.
Good cook. Shut the fuck up!
There's blood on my hands. Especially high goes close to me. The further I stand, there's blood on my hands.
Was there a scandal
Yes!
involving Chet's bar a few years ago before I came to town?
Probably.
I vaguely remember. Ramsbottom was charged with something, but charges were dropped. That was before we had a real newspaper. Oh, fuck
off!
fuck off!
What the fucking shit? What bullshit? This is like, what, 2008? Bullshit.
The pickaxe Picayune,
Oh my
with
god.
all due respect to Junior's late father, never printed anything that might embarrass anyone. Coco did something strange when I came home. He bit me.
Well,
He's never done that before.
I think I hate you.
Two things.
I
A,
hate you.
fuck apparently whatever the fuck she said. I'm not interested. I'm just gonna move on to what my cat did, because that's more fucking interesting. B, well, you don't know how to play with a fucking cat, because they like to roughhouse. This is why Lilian Jackson Braun, I don't believe you have cats. And if you do have cats, you're a bitch, and they hate you. I have been bit, and I have had blood drawn 1,000,000 times because cats are chavs. She gasped. Did he draw blood?
Yes.
No, he just wanted to get my attention. But it was a forceful way of doing it. We were having our bedtime read, and he suddenly ripped the thumb holding the book. Or nipped the thumb holding the book. I assume he was telling me to close the book, serve his nocturnal snack, and turn out the bleeping lights. He's been edgy lately. The bleeping lights! However, I do find it really funny to call your cats edgy. Wait, is that a mood? People ever refer to people as edgy in a mood? Like, people say, like, they are edgy. People don't say, like, are you edgy? Are you being edgy? What were you reading? A Rebecca West that I picked up this week. The Birds Fall Down. Today, Brutus was sniffing Cata indiscreetly, and that little girl turned and hit him on the nose hard. Was he surprised? It was laughable. Quilleran said. She'll grow up to be a tough lady cat who knows her rights and doesn't take harassment from man or beast. I say we should groom her for the first feline vice president. I'd say you're hallucinating, dear.
Yes.
How's your steak? Perfect. How's your fish? Delectable.
Ugh.
Any world-shaking news at Indian Village? Yes! My lovely next-door neighbors are leaving, and who knows what noisy characters will move in. The walls are so thin, as you well know. And the Cavendish sisters are so quiet. I'm spoiled. Where are they going? To the new retirement village near Kennebec. Ruth can't drive anymore, and Jenny has trouble with her knees. At Itibitiwase Estates, they can have a one-story unit, and transportation is available. Also, there's an infirmary on the grounds. What about their cats? Quilleran asked. Small indoor pets are permitted. They wouldn't go anywhere without Pinky and Quinky. Did you know that the Itibitiwase Estates development isn't on the Itibitiwase River? It's on Bloody Creek. But they thought Bloody Creek Estates would lack marketing appeal. Polly added, especially since they have so many accidents at the Bloody Creek Bridge. They should install some kind of safeguard. They keep talking about it, but nothing is ever done. Perhaps Junior should write a hard-hitting editorial. By the way, Quill, did Hixie call you about the spelling bee? She did, and she twisted my arm. She wants me to be word master. I want her to be timekeeper. Your talents would be wasted. Anyone can hold a stopwatch and ring a bell. What's your assignment? Chairing the word list committee. We have to compile a list of 300 words, ranging from those commonly misspelled to the virtually unspellable. It's a practice list for the spellers to study in advance. I'll give you 2 for your list, he said. Believable and knowledgeable have plagued me all my life. To E or not to E, that is the question. I've considered having my left forearm tattooed no E before the A in believable. God, such a douche. I have a problem with seize, siege, and sieve, she said. Why don't we go home and make some word lists? We can have coffee and dessert there. Pause and take a break. There's a paw on a page, so drink up, babe. On Sunday afternoon, while Polly was again sitting for the portrait painter, Quilleran wrote 1,000 words about Duff Campbell and his watercolors. Mrs. Fisheye's influence was in high gear, and the column virtually wrote itself, leaving him time to think about Polly's word list. Batting words around gave him as much pleasure as batting the horsehide had ever done. He began jotting down words that had tripped up spellers in the days when he was winning bees. Confusion over single and double consonants was one stumbling block. Raccoon and vacuum, embarrass and barrass, exaggerate and belligerent, lassitude and verisimilitude, confetti and graffiti, irrational and erasable, parrot and pirouette. His mind wandered to Jasper, and the art center, and the Click Club that was being dedicated. It was John Bushland's idea, a space on the lower level for photo exhibitions, slide showings, video viewings, and talks on photography. Bushy, as he was called, was the town's leading commercial photographer, who was also freelance for the Moose County Something. Quilleran believed he should put in an appearance. Beverly Forfar met him in the lobby of the art center. "Are you coming to see the Click Club? It's a neat facility, and John Bushland is adorable. Is he married?" "Not now," Quilleran said. "And we have another reason to celebrate. Jasper has moved to another address. He's no longer insulting our visitors." "I hope he left voluntarily," Quilleran quipped. "Otherwise, we would be sued for violating animal rights." She lowered her voice a tone. "I've also told Phoebe she can't have that butterfly contraption. This is an art center, and we have to have some standards. What do you think, Mr. Q?" "If you're the manager, you have to manage." "Well, Phoebe's miffed about it. See if you can talk some sense into her head." He went to the Butterfly Girls' studio instead of the Click Club. "Where's your buddy?" he asked. The artist flinched, surprise out of her intense concentration on her work. "Oh, it's you, Mr. Q. I didn't know anyone was around. They're all downstairs." "Where's Jasper?" "Jake took him," Phoebe said, looking pleased. "I thought Jake's roommate was allergic to feathers." "Oh, that's all changed now. Jake bought a condo in Indian Village." "Did he get his promotion?" Quilleran inquired casually. "No, he's just going to continue doing what he likes best, tending bar and gapping with customers. But he just got an inheritance from an old uncle in Montana. That's where Jake comes from. He says it's just like Moose County, only larger." "An apt description," Quilleran said. "So that's a stroke of luck, isn't it? And what else is new in your glamorous young life? Are you going to be on the drugstore spelling team?" He was making idle conversation as he contemplated the news about Jake. "I don't think so. I'm not getting along with my parents right now. The trouble is..." "The trouble is what?" "I broke the news that I'm moving into Jake's condo." "I see." He was unable to think of a better response. "Another problem is that Jake doesn't want me to raise butterflies. He's squeamish about caterpillars. And I've just started a new hatch of painted ladies. Would you like to take them, Mr. Q? They'll be ready to fly in a couple of weeks, and then you can set them free. See? They're over there on Jasper's table. They have to be kept out of direct sunlight." They occupied a cardboard box about the size of a small TV, with viewing windows of clear plastic on the top and 3 sides. There were several of them, crawling around and munching on green leaves, not attractive insects, being spiny and worm-like. "Racist!" "Well, I don't know," Quilleran said. "Are you sure these ugly things are going to turn into butterflies?" "I'll show you a picture of the painted lady," Phoebe said. I love to paint them. They have a lacy pattern of orange and black with white spots." He mused, thinking he might salvage his uninspired interview with Phoebe and get a column out of it after all. "Let me think about it for a while. I'm gonna go down to the Click Club and I'll get back to you. Going downstairs, he could hear the hubbub on the lower level. Apparently, there was a good turnout. He was halfway down when he saw a white head of hair coming up. "Thornton Haggis," he said. "It's too crowded. You can't see a thing. Go back up," said the man from the monument yard. Quilleran backed up and, at the top of the flight, said, "Did you notice that Jasper's gone?" Thornton nodded gravely. "And now our friend Beverly wants Phoebe to get rid of her butterfly box." "No. She offered it to me." "You too?" "Already my wife thinks I'm on the brink. And if I went home with a box of caterpillars, she'd know I'm over the edge. How about you?" "In my case, it might be ink for the quill pen." "Oh my god!"
It could be ink for the quill pen. Look at me, I've got an article on the way.
Oh, I'm pregnant. Did anyone notice? I am
Quilleran is the type of man
Who is not?
who puts a caterpillar on his lip and then takes a fucking magnifying glass and kills it with sunlight while it's still atop his face. That's the kind of man Quilleran is. Because it might be some ink for the quill pen. I'm really not. I am like way too fucking drunk. And there are like 3 or 4 pages left, and that's too many.
Wait, the chapter's not over?
No!
Ah!
You think I started a new one? I'm already dead enough. I can't continue.
No, I really thought it was over. Fuck me.
When the fuck did I get so drunk?
Like when that happened.
Oh, everything tastes like so garbage. Okay. Okay, my eyes still work.
Go.
Fuck.
Hey.
It would be something different, at any rate, but I need to ask some questions. They presented themselves in Phoebe's studio. "You decided?" she asked eagerly. "It all depends on what it entails," Quilleran said. "I may not be qualified to be midwife to a flock of butterflies." "It's simple," she said. "First you keep the caterpillars supplied with food. There's a door on the back of the box for putting in green leaves and cleaning out the frass." "Frass? What the fuck is that?"
Is that a real dialogue?
No, he said, "What's that?" I added, "Fuck, whatever." "Frass? What's that?" he asked. "I'm afraid to ask." "I'll give you an instruction booklet. If you watch, you can see them spinning silk. Then they turn into chrysalises. And nothing happens for a few days until suddenly the butterflies struggle to unfurl their wings and get out. It's magic, Mr. Q. You see them pumping up their wings and then starting to flutter about. At that point, you give them some flowers sprinkled with sugar water. After a few days, you take the box outside and open the door, and they fly into the great outdoors, so happy to be free. It gives you a wonderful feeling of joy." "Do you guarantee that?" "I'll have to go and get my van. I walked down here." Thornton offered to drive him and the caterpillars home, and on the way to the barn he asked, "Do you know if they ever found out who broke in and stole Daphne's nudes? My sons and I were having drinks at the Shipwrecks Tavern the other night, and the bartender showed us a drawing he had brought from a customer who'd bought it from another guy in another bar. It sure looked like Daphne's work, but the signature was blotted out." "Did he say how much he'd paid for it?" "No, and we didn't ask." Thornton had never been to the barn before, and when he saw the ramp spiraling up the octagonal wall to the lofty roof, he said, "Hey, this is the Guggenheim of Moose County. Was it your idea? Wait till my wife hears about this. All the credit goes to his designer from down below. It was the last job he ever did. Where are the famous Siamese? Watching you. Don't make one false move. They put the butterfly box in the guest room of the second balcony, away from the direct sunlight and away from inquisitive cats. Then Quilleran served refreshments in the gazebo. Thornton said, I see you don't have any grass to cut. My wife likes a broad green lawn.
You like a mustache?
But she doesn't have to cut it. No matter how easy they make power mowing, it's still something else to do. My two sons used to do the grass cutting,
Yeah,
but now they have houses and lawns of their own. I don't think you've ever met Eric and Shane, have you? I'm proud of them. Good family men, good businessmen. If you ever want to write a column on the sand and gravel business, call them. They have all the dirt.
Oh my God.
That is the
Oh God. Fuck
Lilian Jackson Braun!
Oh my God. Fuck you. I don't even know what to do right now. This is not over.
Oh, thank God.
Oh God.
There's so little left.
Thank God.
It may come to that, Quilleran said. They sell to the county, you know, and one of the highway engineers tipped them off about a big paving job planned for Trevelyan Road north of Baseline. So that corroborates the rumor we heard from Gary at the Black Bear. It means that a few acres across from the art center will look like a slum. Who's selling the county? Who's selling the county the land? Who's... God, what's wrong with me? Who's selling the county the land? There we go. It's simple. Who's selling the county the land? What the fuck is my brain on?
Right.
This is not a normal grammar structure. It is who's selling the county land? Why is it talking like this? Bear? Bear. Bear and Black Bear. It's Black Blair and Black Bear and Bear and Blair and Hair.
Okay.
They're not buying it. They're leasing it. The owner of the property doesn't want to sell. And you can understand why. The value of that tract is going to zoom sky high in a few years. It backs on the river, and some smart developer like XYZ could build another Indian village there. Quilleran thought. It's already owned by XYZ Enterprises, aka Northern Land Improvement. No doubt the new feller who charmed Maud Coggin into selling her land cheap, who loved the soil, who was going to plant taters and beans, was Don Exbridge, the X of XYZ Enterprises. Quilleran had never liked him. End of chapter. And that's all I can take, because if I do any more, I'm going to fucking die.